My name's Rieser, Islington North. I've been an educationalist for 45 years, specialising really in developing inclusion around both the country and the world, and a lot of training on that. And what I want to say is that academies are bad news for disabled children and those with SEN. The recent labour force study, which looks at the workforce across our schools in England, showed that between 2014 and 2017 there had been a reduction of 6,000 full-time posts of support teaching assistants, and that is when the population of the secondary schools has gone up by 300,000. So clearly we're seeing the effects of funding reductions, but also the academies refusing to take and keep large numbers of children with SEND. And where are they going? Well, the Select Committee on Exclusions, with the Education Select Committee, reported on exclusions in July, and it's identified a whole series of places that mainly children with SEN, but also children with other issues, are going. 300,000 plus temporary exclusions, and over 6,000 permanent exclusions from our schools in just the last year. A further 100,000 children off-rolled in one place or another just so that they avoid Ofsted inspections, and it's nearly always the children with SEN and some sort of learning difficulties who are put out of the school illegally. The department knows it's illegal, but they do nothing about it. Large numbers put into alternative provision, and surprise, surprise, who are the people who are bidding most for alternative provision? There are more free schools now running alternative provision than anything else. There is a huge growth in free schools for special education, as well as a growth in independent schools, charging up to £150,000 per pupil per year. And where's that coming from? It's coming from the same £6 billion budget for special education needs, the higher needs budget, which is meant to meet the needs of all of the children with higher needs. So each time you take £150,000 out of that per year, it leaves less money for everybody else. There is enough money to make it work, but not if we allow children to be excluded and excluded and excluded. We have to build a better system, an inclusive system, and that's why I support the school motion, because it talks about an alternative, and it's also very important that we learn the lessons of the past. In the last Labour government, from 1997 to 2006, they were committed to inclusion. After that, they changed their minds. In fact, Lord Adonis, who was Minister of Schools in 2007, went to the Select Committee and he said, Labour, we don't have a policy of inclusion. So we need to learn the lessons of that, because if we are going to have a system that's inclusive, we've got to stick to it, we've got to develop the methods of actually making it work, we've got to train all of our staff, teachers, support staff and so on, and we've got to fund it properly, and we want no more children excluded and forced into crime and mental health issues. Thank you.